So the next project I'm going to tackle is to build the solar roof rack frame, basically. This frame will hold all of our 24 solar panels, and I'm using 1.25 inch, I think it's 16 gauge square tubing. It's very light compared to what I've been using on the underbay. I have everything cut to length. I have to weld. These are my cross members that go perpendicular to the bus, and these go along the length of the bus. And these will be the main sides to the frames. I have to weld end caps onto these frames and do that first, then we'll start welding up frames. So I was very particular when I cut these. I want these to be nice and square and true because you will see them very easily, and there's no way to hide it. It's just a frame. So this will make up the main portion of the frame, and then I'll have to, once I get it up and mounted on the top, I'll get my side supports cut. I need to know the length and all that, and it's easier to get the frame up there and leveled and mounted, and then figure out my support legs and brackets. So yeah, we'll put a time lapse on and get to work. So I ended up having to pull, there was a vent up there, cabin vent. Pulled that out so my roof rack could sit in there nice. I have to make some rubber isolators, some bushings to keep that up off of the roof of the bus. It's just sitting slightly above it. I was going for about 1/2 inch, so that will allow, that won't trap dust and dirt up there, and it won't be rubbing. So that's the key that I was going for there. So the solar array has 6 panels up front, 12 in the middle, and 6 in the back. So I think the middle section will be one array, and then the front and back will be the other. Yeah, we had to, they're pretty light. I think that's 16 gauge steel tubing. We lifted this middle frame up with a forklift, and I'll show you on the inside, there were actually some holes drilled in each of the hoops that roughly aligned with the center of the bus. So I'll show you that. It's a little easy way to find the center line of the bus. But yeah, we drilled those out, put put the rack up there, drop some bolts through to get them aligned, and they aligned pretty nice actually. Tough to get in there with the camera, but everything's nice and straight. And then we built these feet. We fabbed up 24 of them. Just found our angle and welded them all up, and then came up here and just put them on exactly where I needed them. So my next step will be to take and drill these holes out, but I need to drill them perpendicular from the ground so that you can lift the solar frames off and on. You don't want to drill them at an angle because then you wouldn't be able to pull off the rack. There's some flexibility to it, but not that much flexibility. So, yeah. Solar rack will be nice. We'll pull it off so we can paint that separately. And then I have some stainless. I'm going to try some stainless carriage bolts and suck them tight, and hopefully they bite into the hoops so I don't have to weld there. So you can't really weld stainless that great with, you won't get a good weld with the welding setup I have. So I'd like to just basically tack them in place once they get pulled tight and that square piece pulls into the hole. But yeah, I'll have the carriage bolts come up through the roof, and that'll be the only protrusions or welds made on the roof, but the welds will be from the inside, so I'm not really affecting the bus roof that much. And there isn't much up there if you take the racks off. So if you end up down the road wanting to switch this out for like a deck at the back or something weird like that, it's fairly modular in a way if you want to pull it off. But yeah, we're gonna replace that hatch with a skylight, and the other one will be an air conditioner. Oh, and by the way, you can walk on the roof. If you're light, you could probably walk just about anywhere without too much risk of damaging the waterproofness of the roof. But if you're a bigger guy, you just walk on the ridges. And the only spot that is a challenge is the very back of the bus. There's one hoop missing basically. So that makes it a little bit more difficult to reach the back. But then you can just put a ladder up the backside. So my goal here is to just have these stainless bolts just stick up through the roof and have a very small area that I'll have to seal, and that should be very watertight, but still really strong. So what I do is I drill straight down, or straight as I can, through the roof and then through the U shape of the hoops, and I put a bolt through from the backside. And then it's a carriage bolt, so it has a square head on it. Here, let me grab one out of the bag for you. So it has, focus. So it has the square lands on it basically. And I'll show you what I'm doing with that on the other side. But I guessed about right with the length, so when I really suck it down tight, I'll be able to get my nylock locking nut on, and the threads will just be covered up, which is just how I want it. Should look pretty clean. The only thing is that I drilled all of my holes 3/8 so far, so I just thought about this. So what I'll have to do is, once I get these, I'll do it on each one as I go, but I'll have to lift it up and drill 1 or 2 sizes up on the actual feet. Because even though I'm trying to drill straight as I can, my bolt is still at a slight angle, which will probably give me about 1/8 of an inch of, basically the threads would hang over the edge of the plate by 1/8 of an inch, or the edge of the hole in the plate by 1/8 of an inch, so I'd be stuck on the roof. I'd want to be able to lift these off easily so I can paint them. So I'll take you around to the inside of the bus and show you how I'm welding those. So my setup for welding is I have my fiberglass welding blanket on the ground to catch the big globs if I have any. But what I'm doing, and it's going to be really tough to show you guys, up there I have the first carriage belt welted into place, and here's the second one. Here, let me try something else here. So I pound the head of the carriage bolt in. I'm still going to pound this one more time. And now I'll drive those square lands into the tube, and then I will put a tack weld like I did on this first one here, the side that's exposed, and that will, I'm not really going for strength of weld because welding stainless to basically galvanized is not a good recipe for just normal mild steel MIG wire, but it will give me enough of a strength. I'm more looking for rotational strength, keeping the bolt from falling down through when I have everything off, and then when I'm tightening the bolt, if I have shiplap up here, if I want to take the roof off or the solar rack off, I don't want to have to take my shiplap down to get to these bolts to hold them tight. So this way will allow me to service the roof without having to take the roof down in the inside. So, and that's about it. So I'm a quarter of the way done. I'm going to stop here tonight so I can do my 30 minutes or so of fire watch, and then I'm going to start again on this on Monday or on tomorrow. So it went really well. I think that's going to be much stronger than I'll ever need. Yeah, the bolts are sticking up just perfect, so you won't see too much of the threads. So it should look pretty nice when it's going down the road. That's what we're after. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.